Is it okay to have crushes whilst you're in a relationship?
Unless you're saying you're not into me anymore. He doesn't love me. Like, we already have enough drama between us, and now you want to add extra layers?
I already have 5 boyfriends. Is it okay to have crushes whilst you're in a relationship?
I think it's normal.
Hmm.
Because I think that there are 7 billion people in the world, and just because you found one person doesn't mean you're suddenly not attracted to the other 6 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But how you act on that crush is very different.
Yes. I think this is where it starts to touch on the realms of like monogamy, non-monogamy. Some people are the type where they will have one partner and they'll just be like, I will not fall for anyone else. But then there are also the other people who could still fall for someone else but choose to say, I still just want to have one partner because that's what works for me. Each individual person will have a different idea of what works for them. And that could be different from everyone else around them. That's why there's so much like opinions on this topic. Have you considered doing a throuple before? Hey, wait, you've done a throuple before. Tell me more.
It wasn't a throuple. It was more like a poly, and that was like a nuclear bomb. That was terrible.
All right, tell us more. Tell us more. How did you end up in a throuple/poly situation?
So the relationship with my ex was like never completely smooth to begin with. And then when things were probably in the last like 6 months of our relationship, things were starting to fall apart, and he fell for someone else. And then I was like, oh, okay, maybe we can, in order for you to be happy, I'll, try doing a poly, because it's like, if you want to try and pursue things with someone else, then I'm happy to like accommodate that. And then I tried for a few weeks and I was not happy to accommodate that. And that was terrible.
But I think you weren't happy to accommodate as well because you weren't getting the like time and attention that you needed in the relationship. Yeah, you weren't being prioritized, which is actually, this is one of, seeing you go through that was one of the reasons I had initial feelings towards you, I think, because I saw how much you cared about your ex and the lengths that you were willing to go through for their happiness, which is not something that a lot of people would be willing to do. So I thought that was like so special, and it's, for me, still one of like the best characteristics that I saw in you and I still see in you.
Yeah, that I was happy to sacrifice my own happiness in order for my partner to be happy.
Yeah, I was like, I want that. I want a boyfriend like that.
It's because you weren't getting it in your relationship.
Yes, correct. I felt
that
like
exact
it was the exact opposite in my relationship. I felt like I had to sacrifice my own happiness. Hey guys, if you're enjoying our content, the best way you can support us is by subscribing.
This helps us make better videos for all of you.
So having been through a poly throuple situation, would you do it again?
I would be very reserved. Not a poly. I don't think I would. No. I'm like, out of the 0 to 100%, I'm maybe 10%.
Is that because of how the last poly situation went, where you didn't get enough attention and time?
It's just,
so it's
once you experience something,
you
know the pitfalls and the dangers of it, and you don't want to go down it again because you know that it's too hard to make work.
Yes.
Like, for instance, if someone came up to me, if everyone came up to me and asked, would you recommend it? I would be like, no way.
Yes.
You should fix whatever thing you do in your relationship first, or try to fix it before you try something entirely new.
Yeah.
That's somehow going to magically fix it. It's the same thing as, should you go open in your relationship?
Yeah.
My first response will always be no. Have you even like tried other avenues? Have you talked to the other person about it? Have you tried fixing what's the issue?
Yeah.
Don't just jump into, like, there are so many couples that we know of that jump into it's not working out. They try open, and after like 2-3 weeks, they break up.
Yep.
Because, and from that, I can say positively that going open or going poly for everyone is not the answer. You need to try everything else first. Like, you need so much communication in order for it to work. And the fact that you're having issues in your relationship means you don't have communication. So you're just going to break up. That's what happened to me.
So I think the perspective you're coming from is using poly or open relationship to
fix your issues.
Fix an issue. But I guess I'm asking more from a perspective, if everything was fine and the relationship was developing, would you consider poly?
But if the relationship was perfectly happy, I wouldn't need to look elsewhere for additional happiness. Right? If our relationship was 100% perfect, and we were happy and content, we actually wouldn't look outside.
That's true.
Like if we were fully 100% satisfied with each other, that definition.
So let's say we're not fully 100% satisfied with each other. Then how do you play that? Is this like, do you see that now being a band-aid to a problem? Or is it...
The difficult part is, like you said, is it a band-aid or is it a solution? And it's really hard to find the difference between the two. That's the really hard bit.
Yes.
Are you using the open as a band-aid or is the open a solution? And I think a lot of people think it's the solution when in fact it's the band-aid. I think that's the very, very hard bit, and that's what I don't recommend for people.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
So for me, I definitely keep it. I'll definitely keep it in the realm of, having it as a solution, but it would be so far down my list, it wouldn't be my first thing at all, because I know that that's like the last resort for me.
Yeah.
Like after couples counseling.
Yeah.
That poly or throuple thing or fully open thing is a last resort.
So I think for you, the summary of your position is you're not completely closed-minded to it. You're open to it, but it's not something that you will actively pursue, as in look for. Yeah, which I think is quite similar to me. I'm not closed-minded about it. I think it's extremely difficult to make work because we have our set of challenges already. Imagine adding a third person to that. Now there are, this is one link. Now you're adding another 2 links.
I see it as adding another 3 links.
Why 3 links?
Because all 3 of you together.
Oh, is a third link.
Another dynamic that you
that
have
is
to keep
true.
track of.
Yes.
So it goes from 1 to 4 links. So it's 4 times the work.
That's true.
That's how I see it.
And
you need to be aware of the other person's link as well, because if they're not doing well, you have to.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of mental load for everyone. I think it definitely can work for the right people, but I think the fact that it's so much more mental effort to manage means that for a lot of people, it will be difficult. Not to say that it's bad or anything. I think it's definitely a challenge, but there are probably rewards that you don't get to experience. It's like being gay, we experience a lot of things that we wouldn't if we were straight. I'm sure there are things that being in a throuple or being in a poly, people would experience that you don't get to just by being in a 2-person relationship.
I can't really imagine it at this moment, because from all of our friends that are in throuples, they just talk about how stressful it is. So I can't really think of the benefits at this point.
But doesn't it seem fun, adventurous? It's just an extra dynamic.
It's we already have enough drama between us, and now you want to add extra layers?
I already have 5 boyfriends.
Not this shit.
But again. I feel like I do. I've actively told you this. Even not on camera, I've told you I feel like I'm dating multiple people. But you feel like you're just dating. How many people do you feel like you're dating? One that creates the mess of 5.
I don't really consider you as having multiple personalities, but I don't really think about it that way.
That's true.
Even if I was dating someone with bipolar, I don't think I would. Only if they had bipolar would I think of it that way. I don't think your mood shifts enough. It shifts, but I don't think it's just enough for me to care about.
I think yours definitely shifts enough for me to care about, to consider different people.
Maybe you just have a lower tolerance. Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's you. Have you thought about that? Huh?
Oh my goodness.
Mister?
The problem is me.
Yeah, maybe it's Maybelline. What about you? When would you look for a throuple? When would you look for a third person and be like, right now 2 is boring, I want another third person? What would make you or push you to that point where you are interested in a third person or would consider it?
I think the first thing would have to be someone that's like similar enough in mindset to both of us in terms of like where they want to go in life, where they're currently at, and they would have to feel like there's a spark that the relationship could get something out of. So I don't think I would actively look for it. It's more like we happen to come across someone who are like, whoa, okay, this person actually fits our dynamic really well. And I don't think it's like you actively look for it. It's like feelings might develop over time. It's something that I would talk to you about. And I think our relationship is such that if you weren't happy with it, then I'd be like, okay, no, we won't do it. And I think you would do the same for me, which is like the type of relationship that we have, which is why I do think it's possible to find someone, albeit very hard. And it would be, I guess, a decision for us as a couple to find someone.
So it sounds like you're not against it, but it's just like you're open to the possibility.
Yes.
Has anyone come close?
Yeah, we were overseas and then we met this guy.
But I think that was just like a crush rather than we knew his personality. I think that was the issue. Although we were very open to learning his personality, but it just never...
I think that was a good example of where we were open to the idea, but weren't necessarily like, we need to make this happen. It was like we can see where things go. Yeah.
Anyone else apart from that person?
I don't think there's anyone.
One thing that you keep floating is the idea of hosting a throuples dating show where we do dates with like another person.
I feel like that would be fun.
Have them on as a throuple.
I feel like it wouldn't be fair because we're not actively looking.
I think it would be, yeah, you're right. It would be very hard for us to like be genuinely into it. But maybe it would push us outside of our comfort zone and be like, oh, let's be more open to the idea. Like maybe there is like a special someone who can be the third.
Oh my goodness, maybe we turn this into a show.
And then like, because you never know, maybe it's like we're open to the idea and then we put ourselves in the like, you know, the dating scenario with all 3 of us. And then we're like, we'll try to imagine, can this person really be the person in our heads to make us, to be our first step into the throuple world? We're not actively like wanting it or needing it in the same way that a single person usually wants another person.
Yeah.
But we'll be like very open to the idea, or as open as we can.
Do you think you would get jealous? Might get jealous?
I think it depends on the person, depends on the dynamic. And then like how does it go? Do they do individual dates with both of us? Like they'll do a date with you, then they'll do a date with me.
That's a really good question.
Then we'll do a date all together, 3 of us, and then afterwards we sit down and we're like, how was it? How was your date? How was my date? Did we enjoy it? How was the date as all 3 of us? That sounds fun.
I think, do you feel secure enough with me to do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel secure enough.
I think that would be fun. I'm open to the idea.
You're open to the idea.
I'm genuinely open to the idea.
How do we find someone to go on a date with?
You just put it out into the world. You just go, hello, does anyone want to go on a date with us?
Hello world. We are opening applications.
Please
Who wants to go on a date with us?
A no more than 500 character summary of why you think you would be suitable. The very interesting thing that I've had in my head is we have each other and we're like open to the idea, but for someone out in the world, they would need to be like, in their head, are they looking for one person, or they're like, I'm looking for one or more?
I think everyone would be in the dating, because they don't know if they like us individually in person. They know from like videos, but we're very different to videos.
Yes.
So
yes, you are.
What will happen is they just maybe go in with an open mind as well. And I think like worst case, like we can just be friends. if we like each other but not enough, we can just be friends.
they're gonna get baited by you, just like I did. Like Peter's sweet for the first like 6 months, and it is like
You only know
la la la.
everyone
la,
only
la.
knows 2 of my personalities. I don't know the others.
They don't know the other 3. You
Only
guys
you
haven't
do.
seen.
Only you know the other 3.
Oh, guys, they're rough. I think it would like that's the biggest issue. I'd be like to them, okay, Peter's really difficult. He's sweet when he's sweet, but when he's difficult. Like I don't know if you're prepared to deal with Peter's like other 3
Wow, you're gonna
personalities.
shit talk me about me on the first date? Come on. Come on.
if
Why are you
this happened,
backstabbing me.
see, I wouldn't want. I don't think I could do poly. Like I wouldn't want them dating someone else. Does that make sense? I think I'd want it as like a genuine throuple.
That's why for me, throuple, I prefer throuple. I'm not as comfortable with poly, like at all. I don't think poly is like the very last resort.
Poly, yeah, I think I like to keep my boyfriends close. I had a thought. There was one
as
other.
you so often do.
There was one other guy that we also met in Thailand last year that I was like, oh, I could see myself doing a throuple.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you know who.
Yes.
Yeah, also autistic. Guys, I've realized one of my the traits for people I have crushes on that I really like is autism. Because you guys are like really straightforward. I think in my past relationships, people haven't been straightforward. There's been a lot of like how do you put it? Ulterior motives when doing stuff. Like a bit manipulative, things like this.
You've had a lot of dodgy boyfriends that are very weird. Yes.
Okay. He says it as it is. But I feel like people with autism, you guys don't really lie. Or like you're very easy to read. Like if something's wrong, I can tell something's wrong. Like when I ask you a question, I've learned that if you pause and have a think, you're trying to give me like a dead real answer. You're not trying to think of like a way out. You're like, what is the correct answer, or like my truthful answer, and you're trying to give me that as directly as you can. So like I think dating you has taken a huge weight off my shoulder and not trying to have to figure out what you're thinking.
Are you sure? Because sometimes you're like
what you're thinking in terms of like, is he angry, is he not angry, but not what you're thinking in terms of your mood. In terms of trying to figure out your mood, that is like a hot potato. That's what you're going to say.
Sometimes you do have criticisms of being like, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, I can't read you. Like, make up your mind.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes I ask you very specific questions, but you don't give me answers.
Because there are no answers. There's not answers to everything in this world.
And sometimes you just can't be bothered answering. Right?
You're not wrong.
Anyway, back to the throuple idea. The hardest part, I think, would actually be as the relationship is developing. Like, you know how we had to go through a very rocky period? I'm assuming that's going to happen, right? But it's like now it's happening in 3 directions. That's what I would be the most scared of.
Or if it's not 3 directions, it will be like me and the other person, but you and the other person is still fine, and maybe me and you is still fine, but it's just me and the other person.
Yes. So there's what happens
so
if
it would
there's
affect me and them, and then also when all 3 of us are together, because there'll be like bitchiness or something.
I think this is where you'd have to progress so carefully.
I think it has to be,
and there's no rule books for this, right? This is not like a common 2-person relationship where people have written lots of guides on it.
I think all of us would have to be like so mindful and just so patient with everything, because it's just like new grounds. Like, it's already difficult for just 2 people in a relationship, because you're not taught how to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Like, you're the only I told you this before, but like the only example of a relationship you ever have in your mind is literally your parents. It's your first time you even know what the concept of a relationship is. It's just your parents.
Yes, very true.
And even then, like, most of the time, it's not perfect. Like, probably more often than not, your parents' relationships is more you would consider not great than it is like you would consider as a role model of your relationship.
I think that for us anyway, we're like, our parents argue a lot. and
Mm.
that's not the type of relationship that we want to have. Yeah.
And then adding a third person on is just like, I don't even know how that would work out. I think we're open for it, and I think we're open to trying.
Open to trying, but I think I would be.
I don't think it's
scared
like
about the
necessary.
complexity. Yeah.
It's I think it's like we're happy to try and we're open to the idea. It's just not a necessity at this point in our lives.
Yes.
So if there's not like a genuine vibe and a genuine like we really want
which
it to
maybe
happen.
that's like the better way, right? Because
Yeah.
like you really, really need to find someone that you click with on like multiple levels in order for something to happen, rather than
in order to even try. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And that takes time.
This brings us to the end of our episode.
Yes. Applications are open, everyone.
Please apply.
Please apply now on
1300
pbandtekky.com, nearyou.com.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching until the end of the video. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
If there's anything you guys want us to discuss, please leave it in the comments below. See you next time.